Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Swamy Vijay, and this is Swamy Vijay speaking to you all. In this video, I am going to start one more short story from your supplementary textbook. But before I start the lesson, if you are new to my channel and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel so that you can receive latest updates of the information the moment I upload videos on YouTube. I am going to publish video lessons for all the short stories from your supplementary and from prose and poem from your main textbook. So without any delay, let me start the lesson. But before I start the lesson, let me ask you one simple question. How many seasons are there? In Indian context, how many seasons are there? And in European context, how many seasons are there? If you know the answer, difference between these two, how many seasons are for Europeans and how many seasons are for Indians, comment in the comment section below. Let me also know that whether you know the answer or not. There is a difference in seasons for Westerns and for Eastern people like us. For Indians, we have different seasons, and for Europeans, they have different seasons. There is one season which differs from Europeans and Indians. So if you know the answer, comment in the comment section below quickly. So let me also know how many seasons are there for us. Yes, correct. For Indians, we have 5 seasons roughly. For Europeans, they have 4 seasons. What are those 4 seasons? First one is summer, then winter, spring and autumn. So these are the 4 seasons for Europeans or Western people who live in England or in America. But for Indians, how many seasons are there? Yes, 5 seasons are there. What are those 5 seasons? Summer season, winter season, spring season, autumn season and one more season. Yes, rainy season. So we also call rainy season as monsoon season in our Indian context. So these are the 5 seasons, but in European context they have only 4 seasons. If you don't understand the difference between Europeans and Indians, then you may get little confused once I start the lesson. So during winter season in Europe, the land will be completely covered with thick canopy of snow, thick layers of snow, and there will be no vegetation, there will be no life during winter season. So winter season generally considered in Western countries as completely dead season. Now let me begin the short story from your supplementary textbook It So Happened. The name of the short story which I am going to start in this video is The Selfish Giant, written by Oscar Wilde. So you can understand the title itself speaks about a giant. You might have seen so many giants in movies. Can you tell me a name of a movie quickly where you have seen a big giant in the movie? Quickly comment in the comment section. Let me begin the story without any delay. The Selfish Giant is written by Oscar Wilde. You can understand the name itself suggests that there is a very huge person who is called as a giant, but he is very selfish. So that is his character. The giant is very selfish in nature. He has a garden and children used to play in the garden for so long time, but after 7 years he returned to his house. Then he stopped children to enter into his garden. The garden belonged to a selfish giant. The selfish giant was at his friend's home for 7 years, but now he had returned. He scolded the children when he saw the children playing in the garden. Children got afraid after seeing selfish giant and they ran away from the selfish garden. And selfish giant has raised the wall around the yard. He doesn't want anybody to enter into his garden, including children. In the next part of the story, now the trees, grass and birds were said as there was no one to hang around their twigs and listen to the birds' song. Trees stopped blooming and the fruiting while the birds stopped singing. Now the spring came in the whole country, but they did not enter into the garden. Spring season comes after winter season, but spring season had come in the whole country, but spring season didn't enter into the selfish giant's garden. Practically, it is not possible that spring season can stop itself to enter into the selfish giant's garden, but it is an allegory. You can understand that if we are very selfish, people stop talking to us. In the same way, spring season also doesn't want to enter into the selfish giant's garden, because selfish giant is very selfish and he doesn't want anybody to enter into his garden and to play in his garden. As he has stopped children, he is considered as a very selfish. So spring season entered into the whole country, but it didn't enter into the selfish garden. The result is the garden is still having winter season. As I told you in the beginning, winter season means completely dead season for the Europeans. So selfish giant was thinking why in his garden only spring season has not entered, whereas spring season has entered into the whole country and it has changed the nature, and the nature is looking very beautiful outside the selfish giant's garden, but inside his garden everything is completely covered with thick canopy of snow. Selfish giant was thinking what was wrong with the garden. One day children made a hole in the wall and entered the garden. Now the spring came, birds started singing. That means when one day children, when they entered into the garden, the spring entered into the garden. That means you can understand spring season came along with the children. Children are known for happiness. Children are known for purity. So spring also came along with the children into the garden. And giant woke up and he saw that now in one corner of the garden the spring season is filled, and in another corner of the garden still there is winter. The selfish giant saw a kid in the garden alone trying to climb the tree. Frost and snow were still there on that tree. In that particular area or in that particular corner still it is winter. In other parts of the garden the spring season has entered because children started playing. When he saw a small kid trying to climb the tree had already lowered his branches, but the kid was still too small to climb. The giant approached secretly from the behind and helped the kid to climb. The kid was happy and he kissed the giant's cheek. Other children were frightened by the giant and were running, but when they saw the giant helping the boy, they also became happy. The giant asked the kid to stay and broke the walls. So selfish giant understood that if there are no children in his garden, the garden will remain permanently covered with winter. He wanted spring season to enter into his garden, so he allowed even children also to play inside his garden. He understood, he realized that being selfish, the garden turns into winter, and he realized his mistake and he started allowing the children to enter into his garden. Now in the garden the spring season entered and trees started blooming and everything was going on very well. Now onwards children played in the garden and thanked the giant. The giant asked about that small boy who kissed him on his cheek. Other kids were also not knowing about that child. They told that they also saw that kid for the first time. Days passed, the giant was still missing him because he was the boy who kissed him on his cheek. After few years, the giant grew old, but he never forgot the kid. He now did not fear from the winter, as he knew winter is just passing by. One day he saw the small kid playing on the same tree. The giant became happy and ran towards him. Once he reached near the kid, he saw big nail scratches on his hand and the feet. The giant was in a rage, asking how this happened. The child replies, "These are wounds of love." So when the boy returned, or the small kid returned, giant ran towards the boy, and when he found there were some small wounds on his hands or in palms, he asked, "Who did this kind of cruel act to you?" Then the boy or the little kid said that, "These are wounds of love." After listening to these words, the giant couldn't understand, but who was that boy? He had come to take the giant to the paradise. The child replied, "Once you let me to garden, now I have come to take you to the paradise." Next day, children came in afternoon to play. They saw the giant lying dead, covered with white flowers near the tree. Now, who is the little boy who came to take selfish giant to paradise? He is Jesus Christ. The blood on his hands and feet was from where he was nailed to the cross. He loved people so much that he died for everyone. He takes the giant to paradise after his death. The giant blessed the little boy and other children by letting them play in his garden. God in turn blessed him by allowing the giant into his paradise. The ending of the story is very religious, and Wilde uses the presence of Jesus to help end the story and assist the moral. The giant who had sinned had been sent to heaven purely because he had realized that he was selfish and that he was going to be lonely unless he was more kind. So in our life also, we should not remain selfish. If we remain selfish, we will remain lonely in our life. So this is about the summary of the story, The Selfish Giant, written by Oscar Wilde. Now what you have to do is complete reading first part of the story, then come to the comprehension check questions, read the questions and find the answers for the comprehension check questions 1 in the first part of the story. In the same way, come to the comprehension check 2, read the story and then come to comprehension check 2 questions, read the questions and find the answers for the comprehension check 2 questions in the second part of the story. After that, come to the question answers, read the questions and find the answers to those questions, and then start writing answers in your notebook. So this is about the lesson The Selfish Giant, written by Oscar Wilde. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel so that you can receive latest updates and information the moment I upload videos on YouTube. Thanks for watching this video, and always remember, stay home, stay safe and stay strong. Take care.